Though I am not wearing pink. We're supporting Safaricom in Ethiopia. That's what we're doing today. By force, right? I do support all the warriors, the medics, the researchers, and the families of those who have lost loved ones. You know, cancer is very, 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 very real. All October, you can share your breast cancer warrior survivor support stories with me via social. SpiceFM KE, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. But right now, speaking of warriors, Meenakshi, welcome to Double O Direct.
Thank you so much, Olivia.
It's so nice to have you.
Great.
I want to understand pre-diagnoses. What was your life like?
Well, to summarize, I had a beautiful life.
Yes.
I'm a single mom of a great son. So I was having a beautiful life living here in this great country, Kenya. And it just happened like December 2018 is when I felt that there is something not okay about me. I felt a lump.
Question. Prior to that December, had you had a lot of awareness with breast cancer campaigns? Had you had anybody in your family get diagnosed? Had you been going for routine screening?
Sorry.
What was it like?
Okay, life, as I was saying, it was beautiful. So
Yeah.
I never thought of, something as dangerous as cancer happening. So I never went for a screening. I was living quite a healthy life, working out in the morning, eating healthy diet, and having a good, active life in terms of working, being a mother of one. So life was pretty much beautiful up until then. And honestly, I didn't go for screening before that.
Any history of cancer or breast cancer in your family?
None.
Wow.
None.
So life was good. Son was doing fantastic.
Yeah.
And then what happened in December?
So December, all of a sudden, like early December, when people are, planning for their Christmas, well, I felt a lump on my right side of my breast. So I felt this is something which is unusual. I think if you feel something which is unusual at the very first go, do not wait. Go to a doctor. So that's what I did. I went for a checkup. I went for my screening. Not necessarily all lump will be a cancerous. It could be a benign. But it is very important to know. Otherwise, you stay very, very disturbed.
Were you not afraid? Did you have support? Because, okay, early December, you discover a lump. Did you call anybody? Or did you just say, I'm going to go to the doctor, check it out?
I live here alone.
Yes.
I have a son of 10 years. And all my family members are back in India. Okay. So I do not have a family. All I had was friend. Yeah. So there was a friend who actually I spoke to. Yeah. And with her, I went for a checkup. Okay. So I do not have a family history. I did not speak to anybody in the family because, staying so far away from home and family, if I tell them something about it, they will be worried. And that's the last thing I want.
Yes.
So I didn't tell anything to anybody at the beginning.
Between the time you decided you and your friend are going to go to the doctor and getting that diagnosis of you have breast cancer, tell me about that specific journey, how long it took and what the steps were.
Well, since it was December, it's a festive month, it was like every now and then, like every other day, I was been called in for some checkup or other. So I went for, the first thing I did was a biopsy because the lump was there. So the biopsy actually determines that whether the lump is benign or a cancerous. So I went for a check-in when the report came out and the doctor found that I need to go for further checkup. It was a thorough checkup. And with the kind of facility that we have here, I felt it is important that I do it here. So I made up my mind that I will do my treatment here because every facility is here.
Wait. You've gone to the doctor. You've gotten your biopsy. When you first went to the doctor and you felt, okay, there's a lump, how long to get the biopsy, or did you have it on that first appointment?
I had it on the second appointment because the doctor said that you need to immediately go for a biopsy.
And how long did it take to get the results from that biopsy?
It actually takes 7 days. 7
days.
Yeah, 7 to 10 days it takes. Yeah.
Those 7 days come back. He says, okay, I don't want you to panic, but there could be something here. We need a more in-depth check. What was that process like of that in-depth check? When did that occur? How long did it take?
So it started, as I said, it started with the biopsy.
Yes.
So after biopsy, we really need to wait, because until and unless we get to know, what is the outcome of that, we cannot take the next step.
Yes.
If it is benign, the line of treatment will be different.
Okay.
If it is cancerous, the line of treatment will be completely different. So
Okay.
if it is cancerous, then obviously there will be a detailed screening which starts from your blood test to, different other tests. So yes, it took me almost, I think, if I'm not wrong, giving the gaps in between, waiting for the reports and all, it was a process for almost 20 to 25 days.
So still in December, you hadn't gotten the definitive result that you have breast cancer.
Well, there's a story there I would
Tell
like
me.
to share. So what happened was, the doctor that I was, the oncologist here,
Yes.
the one that I was going to, he had his planned, vacation. So he was away for almost last 10 days of the month. He had gone to meet his son out of Kenya. So he'd said that I'll be back on 30th and I want to see you because by then all the reports will be there.
Yes.
I requested that I don't want to come on a 30th because it's end of the year. I don't know what's happening next year. I have no clue. So let me enjoy this new year. So I made up my mind. I told him that I'm not coming until the 2nd of Jan.
Okay.
So though the reports were out by 30th of December, but I chose not to know.
Okay.
Because as I said, what if it's a cancer positive, which by then, at least I started assuming that yes, it is, because unless and until it is a positive, I wouldn't have gone through that series of tests after that. Yes. So I had to wait, and I told him that let me at least enjoy the new year, because next year I really don't know what's going to bring up. So I went on the 2nd of January 2019, and I was been confirmed that I am cancer positive.
Meenakshi, as a single mother, at what point? Yes, I want to find out when you told your extended family, your parents, etc. But at what point did you tell your son that, and how, that you have cancer?
The day, which is on 2nd of January, that the time when the doctor said that I am cancer positive, and he's an amazing doctor. He actually sat me down and took me through the process. And he told me it is very important for you to say something which is very, very key. It's nothing a medicine. I'm not going to prescribe any kind of medicine, but one line that I'm going to tell you, and you have to repeat it every single day of your life till the time your treatment is going on, sitting right in front of the mirror. So the line was, I am beautiful. I love my body. I want to live. Okay. So, and he told me that in this process of the treatment, you will go through a lot of change, which will be a physical changes as well. So it is very important for the people who is staying with you to know about it. I made up my mind. I went back home, and obviously I was completely shattered, because for most of us, people who have not gone through this journey feels that it's a death sentence. So I was trying to plan my life for the next 3 months. I was thinking probably 3 months and I'm gone. So it's very important for my son to know, though he's just 10 years. So I had gone back home. I sat him down. I told him that I am having this ailment called cancer. I'm going to start the treatment and I'm not sure what's going to happen next. But you need to be very, very strong. You need to know whatever comes up, you need to accept. And obviously there'll be changes in me. You have to start, knowing that and accept me the way I am. So it was very, very tough. On 2nd of Jan, the same day I knew that I'm having cancer, is when I came home and I told my son, I explained to him.
SpiceFM live on your phone, computer, smart TV, homepage, standardmedia.co.ke. This is 00 Direct. I am 00. And all October, you are welcome to share your breast cancer warrior survivor support stories with me. Handle is SpiceFMKE, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. But now I continue my conversation with Minnie, a breast cancer warrior. You already told me 2nd January 2019, you told your 10-year-old son you have breast cancer. You're from India. You're a single mom. You don't really have a close network here. Everyone else is back home. How did they hear about all of this?
I did not tell anybody back home. They didn't know. until I had to go for my surgery, when the doctor said, since I'm going under the knife, I need to have somebody from the family. That's when I called my brother. I told him, because I made up my mind that I do not want to go back to India for my treatment. It's very, very important because I have a life here, so has my son. So any which way, since I have to go through the treatment, why not from here? Because if I go back to India, there'll be a lot of disruption, not only about the studies for my son, but also I have a job here to keep. So thinking about all the pros and cons, and the best thing, or rather the most important thing, is I have insurance here. I was working, I was supported by insurance, and I decided to start the treatment here.
Okay.
Yeah.
What brought you to Kenya, if you don't mind me asking? And when was that?
Oh, I came back almost 11 years back. Like 2011 is when I landed in Kenya. And I came here with work, and I fell in love with this country. And so has my son. So we never...
Did you just arrived, the two of you?
Yes.
Okay.
2011, I came here for work.
Yes.
And being a single mom, obviously, I came here with my son.
Yes.
And that time, the life was so different because away from the country, with no one known around me. So initially, it was difficult. But slowly and gradually, we both fell in love with this country. And we decided we want to be here.
That is amazing. The other thing that I find really interesting is that there are a lot of Kenyans who are leaving Kenya to seek treatment, not just for cancer, but for all kinds of illnesses in India. And here you are as an Indian, of course, with a stronger network, family, friends, making the decision not to leave for treatment and to have it here. So who insured you, and which hospital was this that you had so much confidence in?
Okay, taking the name of the hospital, I went to Aga Khan University Hospital right here in Nairobi, and I had an insurance support. Yes. So I decided, let me do it here, because any which ways I have to go through the same process of treatment, whether it is chemotherapy, surgery, radiation, immunotherapy. I thought that if I have to go through, it's me who has to go through it. So why to go back to India if I receive the same, line of treatment here in Kenya? Yes, it's a perception that, treatment is good and best in India, or rather better in India. I also agree to that. But in my case, I found it different. I found the same line of treatment with a very good doctor, an amazing facility as Aga Khan, and obviously the support from the insurance. I felt this is the most, the best option for me to be here, where I do not disrupt my job. And just to let you know, Olivia, I have not even taken any leave during my treatment. The only time I took a day off was the day I went for my chemo. But I used to work from there. That's very, very important. I would like to touch upon that.
You clearly have a very, very strong work ethic. Because I know people who are slacking for no real reason. If they had, honestly, no, just calling a spade a spade. If they were to say they have cancer, they'd have like 3 months off, because for no reason whatsoever, someone's taking a week, 5 days, 2 weeks, But to ask honestly, you said you were insured by?
Jubilee Insurance.
Okay, and at what point did you tell your insurer that you had breast cancer?
Yeah, soon after the first diagnosis, because everything, starting from my screening, scanning, going through the blood test and everything, the entire screening process was been covered by Jubilee. So from the very beginning, they knew about it. I had to give a declaration and inform them about my ailment. Once I received the line of treatment, I had actually prior informed them that these are my dates for the chemotherapy. These are the number of sessions I have to go through. Jubilee as well as NHIF, I think it's very, very important to acknowledge the fact that we have insurance and we also have NHIF. So yes,
I love that. I love how we. India has just been there. I'm here. I'm a Kenyan. We have my family here. My son's here. That's just a beautiful story. So, from the second to the procedure, your surgery, when you had to talk to your brother, how long did that take? For how long did they not know that you had breast cancer?
Okay, I had to go for the surgery in the month of June, and my treatment started in January. So almost 6 months, I didn't tell anybody. It was a big struggle. It wasn't a cakewalk at all. Till the second, chemo session, it was extremely tough for me as Meenakshi, as a person, as individual, it was a toughest journey probably. Because, the word chemo itself kills you. Yeah. And then every day sitting, as I said, that the doctor said that you have to repeat those lines. I am beautiful. I want to live my life. And I love my body. I love my body. I'm beautiful and I want to live my life. I didn't realize what was the importance until my second chemo session. So I remember the first chemo session happened on I think 16th of January, a day after we had an attack here at Dusit.
Yes.
So I called my doctor and I said, should I come, or because there'll be a lot of, there would be a lot of rush in the hospital. He said, no, Meenakshi, we are not delaying, because cancer is something which is extremely aggressive. It is very, very important to diagnose, and the very first, in early stages is obviously important. And another most important thing is to start the treatment. We should not delay. So I went for my first chemo. I was extremely tired. I was being told the outcome, what happens, the after effects of chemo. I came home and I felt that I'm weak. And emotionally and mentally, I was feeling extremely drained out. That's when I made up my mind, I'm not going to sit at home. It's important for me to engage my mind somewhere else. Next morning, I woke up, I went to work. I would come back home every day after work and I would go for a walk, because I realized that I'm feeling weak. I cannot go to the gym. So I used to go for a walk, brisk walking, eating healthy diet, spending time with my son. As I said, till I had my second chemo, it was extremely tough for me, because every moment I would have felt that, what if I'm not there after a few months?
Yes.
So spending time with my own son was very, very important. And at that time and at that space, I felt that I really don't need anybody, because by then I lost my dad. My mom was back in India, and I really don't want to stress her about what I was going through. So for me, since my son was there, I used to spend a lot of time with him, watching TV, doing some activities together, cooking together. And I felt somewhere deep down that I'm happy, because I'm away from, the relatives. Okay, out of, generous thought or feel, they would have, sympathized with me and all. But honestly, at that moment, I do not need that, because the pain is within my body.
Yes.
Yeah, the issues that I have emotionally, it's me who has to fight them. And if somebody is sympathizing me, I would feel, heavy with that more. So in a way, I always pray to God. I always thank God that God has been really kind to me. I got an opportunity to come in this country. I have come across, one of the best doctor here. I started my treatment here, and I have a beautiful son.
Wonderful.
So that was my support system. That was my ecosystem during that time. Yeah.
What about the people at work? At what point did you inform your employer that you had breast cancer and that you'd be seeking treatment?
The day after the 2nd of January, when I came to know that I'm cancer positive, I went back to work and I had informed them that this is what has happened to me. I went with the reports. So they actually didn't want to see the reports. When they heard about it, they asked me how they want to support, how they would support me, because everybody knew that I'm a single mother staying here all by myself with my son. So yeah.
May I ask, what stage was your cancer when it was diagnosed?
It was stage 2.
Okay. I want to, when we come back, understand the physical and the psychological changes that you underwent during the course of your treatment.
Perfect.
Gloria Gaynor, 94.4 in Nairobi. This is SpiceFM. I'm Olivia Otieno, hosting Double O Direct. In a few minutes, have you been feeling special this week? Have the businesses you support, the office where you work, made you feel like you're heard? Made you feel like you're appreciated? Have they? Because no, it's been customer service week all week. Mumbi, Njoroge, has the Standard Group made you feel heard and appreciated? We'll get into that another time. But before we get into it and the significance of, customer service week, I want to wrap up the conversation with breast cancer survivor Minnie. Now, there's so many questions I have, but one of the most obvious signs of cancer are the physical changes. So just walk me through your diagnoses when you got the confirmation on the 2nd of January, 2020. And of
2019.
course, 2019.
Yeah.
So it was 2018 December.
December.
So 2019, that was pre-COVID at least, you know. So 2019, January 2nd, you had your operation in June, and then going into remission now in 2020. So tell me about that journey physically and psychologically. What were the changes?
Okay, the first thing is, as I mentioned, that up until the second chemo, my the journey was extremely tough, because by then I was still presuming that I'll die probably. I might not see probably the next new year probably.
Had the doctor said or given you any indication of that?
No.
Okay.
That's the best thing. Yeah, the doctor had extremely been supportive. He had actually taken me through the entire process, how the treatment would go through. But yet, at the back of your mind, when you hear you are the one who is going through the cancer, even if the doctor says, we are going through the treatment together, don't worry, I'm there with you. This is the line of treatment. Yet, at the back of your mind, it always plays that, you're not, what if your days are counted? So, on my second day of my chemotherapy, it happened sometime around the Valentine's, 2019.
Yes.
So, I went for my chemo. Before that, I started feeling that I'm losing my hair.
Okay.
So before that, I had a little long hair, and as you know, we always take pride, especially us. We take a lot of pride in the way long hair and a black long hair. Actually, that's how defines how beautiful you are. Though I'm not saying that I was, but actually, I love my hair. But when I saw that I'm losing my hair, just a week before I went for my second chemo, I went and chopped my hair short, so that at least, I don't see such long hair, falling. So I had cut it short, but I still had hair. I had my hair till about my shoulder then. So when I went for my second chemo, I was on the chemo bed. Since I said that I was staying here alone, so I used to go for my chemo all by myself. And the worst thing was, when you're alone, you have to go yourself. You have to register in the, you have to admit yourself. There's no one along with you who is doing that process for you. So you yourself admitting, for the treatment. Then you wait, and then my chemo started. And when my chemo started, I saw that, just as you see the, leaves, they do drop. Yeah. Similarly, my hair started dropping, and
right
all over
there at the hospital?
Right there while I was on the chemo bed. And as I said, that even when I was taking my chemo, I was still working. Yes. So if my line was there on my left hand, with my right hand, I would still, operate my laptop. I used to carry my laptop to the hospital, because everybody else who was taking chemo, they were there with their family members. So they had some way or other, they're interacting with me. There was no one. So I used to carry my laptop. I would finish my emails from there, and then I would get into Netflix. Okay. Yeah, because that's one way of diverting your mind and start, moving into a different world altogether. Because with Netflix, you start watching a series, you get engrossed. At some point, you feel that you don't feel that where you are. Yes. So, but that day it was a little different, because every time I would look around, I would see so many hair around me. So I couldn't take it further. From there, I called one of my friend, and I told, take me to a salon. So straight from the hospital, when I was released from the hospital, I went to a salon. I actually shaved off my head that day. That's when I realized the most important thing in this entire journey is acceptance. Up until then, I was not accepting the fact that I have cancer and I'm going through treatment. But the day I lost my hair, because that's the only thing probably I was holding on to, because obviously physically there will be a changes, and then I don't have a single strand of hair on my head. That's when the realization kicked in that I am going through cancer. And I've seen the worst, and I'm going through my treatment. That's when, I don't know from where, Olivia, I got a strength that I need to fight back now. Yeah. So when I went back home, that was very, very crucial, because I had to see my son. And I called my son in. Luckily, that day I was carrying a scarf. So I actually covered myself with the scarf. And I went back home. I called my son inside the room, and I showed him that I told you that I'll go through changes, and this is how I look right now. And for the next few months, I'll be looking like this. So he was, as a 10-year-old boy, obviously, for a few seconds, he was taken aback. But immediately he turned around and said, Mama, you know what? This is like a trend. So don't worry. So from then, like every other day, he would write me a small chit, that I have the most beautiful mother in the world. I love you, Ma. So those are the small things which had given me a huge boost that I need to fight now. This is the time I should not give in. I should not think that I'm dying. I should think that I have to live now. There's no other option. And that's the next morning when I sat in front of the mirror before getting ready for my work. When I started repeating the lines that my doctor told me, that I am beautiful, I love my body, and I want to live. I realized how important those 3 lines are for me. Having not a single strand of hair on my head, it is so important for me to say that I'm beautiful. It was very tough, Olivia. That morning was really tough. But I realized how important it was for me to say those 3 lines. Every day, I used to say that. So up until then, from there on, I started, getting a fact that I have to fight. I don't have an option. Next thing was the surgery. I completed my chemo, all my chemo cycles. Then in the month of June, that's when the doctor said that you have to go for the surgery. It's important, one of your family member be here. Or that's when I informed my brother. I called him and I told him this is what has happened. And I've already started my treatment. This is what I have been going through. If it is possible, please come. He just said that I'm coming, obviously.
Yes.
He was there. He came here for 10 days. He stayed with us, though it was a tough time. But just because, brother coming all the way back, from India, though it was for not a very happy reason, but still, having him by the side at least gave me that, moral boost. I went through a surgery. After that, I had to go for my radiation. So radiation was a time when probably, another physical changes come in, because a part where the radiation goes, makes you, actually physically you get weak, and that part gets a little darker. So yes, every day I used to go for my radiation. I had total 30 sessions of radiation. After that, I started with my immunotherapy. I had total 18 sessions of immunotherapy, like every 21 days, interval, I used to go for my immuno. Yeah.
This is just such an incredible story, such an incredible journey. I need to understand, when we come back, the remission process, the healing process, and of course, just to understand the support that you got from your doctor, from your insurer, from your workplace, from your family, from your son and brother, etc. And at what point you were actually told, Meenakshi? At what point you were actually told, Meenakshi, you are cancer free? Remember, you can share your breast cancer warrior survivor support stories with me on the socials. SpiceFM KE is our handle. And right now I'm wrapping things up with an amazing cancer warrior. Minnie, it has been, I can't even imagine. So far, we've gotten to I felt a lump. I went in for a biopsy. A month later, got the confirmation I have breast cancer. How many cycles of chemo was it? 2?
6.
6 cycles of chemo,
Yeah.
then surgery. After surgery, we had cycles of radiation. How many were those?
30.
30 cycles.
This was daily.
And then after that, we had immunotherapy. How many cycles?
18.
18 cycles. At what point, did you fear that you were going to lose your breasts? Because I'm going to tell you straight off the bat, you have very beautiful breasts.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just going to say, I'm going to put it out there, right? And when the first time I heard you had cancer and you had breast cancer, I was wondering, like, everyone always wants to feel them. Like, are they real? Are they not real? Like, did you get implants? Did you get a mastectomy? What was that process?
Initially, the doctor said that soon after the chemo, he would let me know whether he has to go for a mastectomy. But he said all throughout that he would try for a lumpectomy.
Okay.
So I had a lumpectomy. The chemo actually worked on me. It reduced the size of the lump. I had a marker inside my body because the lump had really reduced. So using the marker, actually, the doctor could, remove the lump. So I basically had gone through a lumpectomy.
And with a lumpectomy, what about feel, shape? symmetry. Nothing happens.
Yeah,
You wouldn't even
obviously.
know. Just a scar.
There's a scar.
Okay.
There's a scar. So that reminds you every day that you had gone through something. You
Yes.
had your journey. Otherwise, there is nothing. Life is...
At what point did your lovely hair grow back?
Soon after I completed my chemo, I stopped wearing my wig. I was wearing scarves, so I stopped them. Slowly, gradually, I saw some, strands of hair coming back.
Yes.
I started people used to say that you rock in that look. So I really enjoyed that side of it as well.
Yes.
Because I don't remember the time when my hair was shaved when I was a baby.
Yes, yes.
So right now, after this, because of this rather, I've seen myself, going through that process of shaving and again getting the hair back. So now, yeah.
When were you told by the doctor that you're cancer-free?
Well, it was 2020, August. And if I'm not wrong, it was 12th of August, a couple of days before my son's birthday. I went for my last immuno session. And once I completed, he said that, Meenakshi, your treatment is over now. But every time you have to remember that you have to come back for your regular screening. So I go for my regular screening. But I think if I'm not wrong, it's 12th of August 2020 is when I have finished my treatment.
Amazing. And we know that routine screening and early detection does save lives. So when you say you go for your regular screenings, how often is that?
It was initially 6 months. Right now I'm into a phase where I'm going every 8 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Anything you can tell fellow warriors, fellow survivors, or share with those who, are hoping to never hear the words, you have cancer?
Well, firstly, I would like to thank you, Olivia, for giving me a platform where I can reach to one and many who are, might be going through the journey as I had gone through, or might be fearing. All I would say is, if you feel something is not okay, whether it's a cancer or some other thing, if you feel something which is not okay, please see a doctor. Early detection always help. And cancer doesn't mean that life is counted. Yeah. So please enjoy your life, live your life every moment. Another key aspect is accept your current situation. The moment you start accepting, I think that's the first step of healing.
Thank you, Meenakshi. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful weekend.
Thank you so much. Wish you the same.